Hi, I'm Sebastian here with Roger.
Hi guys.
And we're inside the Zenith factory and just looking at some of the new things that we do at the factory. And as you know, at Zenith, a lot of what we do is trying to improve on the kit, make it easier and simpler to build for customers. And one of the new things that we've come up with over the last few years are the control ends. And so let's talk a little bit about that, Roger. What are we doing?
So we supply in the kit the standard cable kits for the customer to install and build up himself. But now we have offered as an option is the complete cable kit that are pre-done for the correct length and with the proper ends swedged to the correct size.
Right, and that's a nice thing we do now is that we have these professional swaged ends. It's no longer the old Nico press fittings, so it just makes it a lot quicker and easier, doesn't it?
Right, well, and it's not only easier when you're building up your own cable kit, sometimes the access, the room to get in there to do it is quite challenging, you know.
Right.
So, and these are all done on the bench, and we do it to the correct length and everything.
So it just adds a lot of, I guess, value to the customer, makes it easier to build, quicker to build, because, you know, one of the things that at Zenith, you know, for years I've said, you know, you need three things to build an airplane. You need the time, you need the space, and then of course you need the money to do it. And you know, with the quick build kits and even the standard kits that are quicker to build, it makes it a little less requirement for the time, and sometimes as well as the space. I know with our quick build fuselage kits, you just need a little bit less space in your shop when it comes already assembled.
Right, and you are spending, you know, building your own cables up. You're spending, you know, you could spend 2 days easy doing it, and it's really, you haven't gained that much knowledge, and and the value add to these options is great. Right,
and especially with these swaged ends, these professionally swaged ends, they look good. They're very durable, and I know, having done the old Nico presses myself, there are ways to do that incorrectly as well. And of course, we do it here in the factory. We have the professional swaging tool. And we test them. Earlier today we did a nice little video of actually pulling that apart. So again, to really show the strength of those ends, really does a great job.
Exactly.
So let's have a look on the actual airplanes, what this is all about.
What we have here is we have the 701 fuselage. And this is a standard 701 fuselage kit right off the shelf, the Cleco together. And we went ahead and hooked up some of the control cables that we're offering with the 701 in our other models. And these are called the forked end, and they're swedged on the cable through the machine. So it doesn't look like much swedging, but it's swedged all the way around. Here's a forked end unswedged, and you can tell it's a little different. I don't know if you can see that from the video.
Yeah, they sure look nice. They look very professional, don't they?
Exactly. And then on the other end, you have the barrel side, which is the turnbuckle side. You adjust the cable for the correct cable tension. And the cable tension on the 701 for like the rudder, you know, you're looking 25 to 30 pounds of cable pressure. And we'll come back to the rudder end, to the barrel side. And not only that, it's a lot easier to install your cables with the pre-done cables, but the big advantage is these barrels, the original barrels, you would have to safety wire. You can do a single wrap, double wrap, or there's another option. It's pretty complicated to learn, especially if you've never done safety wiring. And first time, it's not going to look right. So in the new cables, we have a thing that's called these clips. And these are little clips, and they slide in between the barrel, and I'd have to get it adjusted. But you have a little slot, you slide it in, and then one goes here, and then the other one goes in, and locks it in place. That's a huge advantage, especially when you're doing your testing. You're adjusting your rudder quite often. You're just to pull this out, adjust a little bit of the cable tension, adjust the rudder, and then go on. Otherwise, you have to re-safety everything.
And that's just another way to make it easier to adjust it and then to have the correct tensions on your cables.
Exactly.
Because if something is easy to readjust, you will do it versus having to undo all the safety wiring and so forth. Yeah, that's
right,
a good
and then
point.
the cable, you know, it's the cable goes all the way into the forked end, the barrel end, or whatever section you're working on, and there's no frayed cables, and it's really nice. Looks very professional. It's an 1/8-inch cable, 7x19 strands, and it's rated to 2,000 pounds. Definitely well over the design of the 701 for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's look at talk about the 701. Let's look at your 701 and your cable ends on that. So here in the showroom side of the Zenith factory, we have Roger's original 701. Now, what year was this airplane built?
Oh, it's March of '98.
98. So what's that? 27, 28 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still looks showroom worthy. So
yeah, no, it needs to be cleaned up, but yeah, otherwise it's a pretty nice little airplane.
It's not a museum piece. At the same time, it's still a very relevant light airplane. So let's look at the control ends on this here.
So you got the 1/8-inch cable. I've got the Nico press and with the thimble, and then you got the turnbuckle, and then as you can tell, see, I have it's called a single wrap. And this, when you use the safety wire, you have to use 40,000 safety wire, and you single wrap it so you do one the opposite way, so you can't undo the turnbuckle.
Right. For safety reasons, obviously you don't want it to come undone on you or even to loosen on you for obvious reasons.
And you can see I got frayed ends there over the years, so you know you rub your hand, you could catch yourself. It's not as clean as the pre-done cables that we're supplying, but it does look crimped correctly and.
Yeah, and it's been stood up the test of time. What, 20? We were saying 27, 28 years. So does a good job. But definitely, yeah, it looks a little more home built, a little more hands-on, do-it-yourself, if you will, than the nicer cable ends. But it does the trick also.
And it is a little trial and error sometimes because you know you can do one end very well, but then the other end you got to make sure you get the correct length and everything. So it's definitely the option kit is the way to go.
Hi guys, Travis here at Zenith Aircraft. Just want to discuss a option we have for pre-swagged cable ends, and we also test these to make sure that they're good, and I want to show you how we do that. We have a high leverage arm here where we're going to put a torque wrench on so we know exactly how many pounds of torque we're putting on the cable. We've got tape marked at the swag end to make certain nothing slips. And we're going to break a cable here for you and show you that these things are swagged all the way.
So let's have a look. I heard a large pop, so what's going on, Travis?
Well, so you can see that the tape is still at the swag end where we placed it before.
And we had how many
And that's just over 2,000 pounds, which the cable is rated at 2,000.
Right. So obviously our ends held strong and firm.
Ends held perfect.
No budge or anything. They didn't even start coming out, did they?
Not even close.
Okay, well thank you.
This is what you'll receive, how it's supplied in the kit. We've got the turnbuckles and the screw-in clevises, all the cables, everything's labeled clearly. You've got a drawing, the pick list, quality control stamp, just like you're going to receive it.